It's the boy Blackbeard Mirage. What's happening? I'm back. The real American. And I just want to give a real shout out, man. Just a major salute to all the men and women, all the ladies and gentlemen in the Midnight Mirage that's, tuning into these tapes, leaving comments, leaving likes, sharing them, it's real big, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. When I first started making these tapes, I never really knew how it was going to turn out. Just wanted to kind of express myself and I guess put some information out that I knew to be true and I knew to be real. And whoever gravitated towards it, that's who it was for. So, clearly you all are getting something out of it. And, I guess I'm just thankful, that you all are happy about the stuff. That means that, it's paying off, for the people, because that's who it is for. If it put the tape out there, it's for y'all. So, if y'all are getting something from it, what I'm saying, that's real, real good. And then you can have different people that's on the Midnight Mirage tapes for different reasons. Some of y'all like the Aboriginal Autochthonous history tapes. Some of you all like the occult tapes. Some of you all like the Negro bed stench tapes or the black up male tapes, or basically the social, the societal tapes. It's a lot of different things that some of you out here, are here for. But, once again, I'm just appreciative and very, very thankful for all of them. Whatever you all are a fan of. And that's why I try to be real even and be, very, very balanced on what I distribute. So I got a lot of occult tapes, and I got a lot of, history tapes, and I got a lot of, let's say, so-called Negro bed stench or black up male type tapes. And, you're not going to see me just overload on one of them. So that's what I try to do with that, stretch them out, every now and then you'll mix them up. Maybe I may be on a spell where we talking about the Negro bed stench for 5 tapes in a row. Then I may switch up and get on some occult tapes for about 2 or 3 tapes in a row. So that's kind of how it goes. So, as you can see lately, we've been kind of going deep into some higher sciences on the occult, because I did want to kind of transition it and kind of update it on where we at with that, and how we need to be thinking in terms of the occult, and then also had to do an update on the Aboriginal Autochthonous history with the latest American Aborigines, Our Lost Identity 4. Part 4, I saw that y'all like that one, what I'm saying, that's good. And so, we did an update on that, and pretty soon, you all will get another tape about some black up male or Negro bed stench or Negro noose neck or stuff, when that shows up. But, either way it go, man, if y'all fucking with that shit, then, that's good, that's good. What I want to also do real quick is just give some shout outs to some people. On YouTube, I saw the brother Kid Organic just lost his page, so I want to give a salute to him. And I think he got a new one called Kid Organic Reloaded. So y'all find that brother and check him out and subscribe and view his stuff. Of course, major salute to the man himself, the tank operator himself, the brother Mr. Controversy. He's still going in. He dropped a tape recently dealing with, the bed stenching going on in Nigeria. And he had some real crazy quotes in there and real crazy statistics. And one of them was wild, man, because it was showing how the black females in Nigeria lead Africa in skin bleaching. So that shit was crazy as hell. And, then he also dropped a tape recently when he talked about the black female who walked out on her son when he, chose the Florida Gators as his collegiate choice. And he went in on that, and he was right. We got a real, real big population of black females out here that have horrible attitudes. You know what I'm saying? So he put them in their place on that one. So salute to him, man, the boy Mr. Controversy. As y'all already know, that collab coming real soon, so y'all stay tuned for that. Also, the Magi himself, Khalid Bey. Salute to that brother. He's over there dropping higher sciences, to help add to the occultism. So whatever I don't put out in the occult, I'm pretty sure he'll hit on it and he'll hit it. So y'all check out his tapes as well, to get deeper in understanding and get the adept correspondence to what we're talking about. As you all can see, I'm pretty big on raising people up, and I'm not big on being in the spotlight by myself, so salute to that brother, and y'all show him some love on his tapes. It's another brother on my subscription list and on my subscriber list by the name of G Love. It's a brother on my subscriber list by the name of G Love. That's G-E-E Love, G Love. But this brother going in on some tapes, you know what I'm saying? His last 3 tapes were just pure classics. You know, just pure guillotine classics. You know, just pure raw acid classics. You know, just pure atomic classics. You know, that brother was just going in on how you just got to be your real self and how you got to get over, you know, certain old insecurities, certain old mentalities, certain old behavior patterns. Got to get rid of all that shit. You know, he kind of hit on the same thing I hit on in my terror conversations, dealing with the subconscious mind and the 37 voices of the dark self. You know, just how you have to go through a process of death and get rid of your old self. You know, that's how that goes. If you want to be the champion and get the man or the girl of your dreams, you got to get rid of your old self. You got to die to your old self. Because your old self was the one telling you like, man, nah, she ain't talking about it. Nah, man, she ain't going to even give you the number. Nah, man, you remember the last girl you tried? Man, the last 10, they ain't even go for it. You know, they're saying with you as a woman. It's going to tell you, nah, man, shit, he like the girls with the weave. Nah, man, he like the girls with the implants, you know what I'm saying, and the fake breasts and all that. Nah, man, you ain't stat like them. You ain't gonna be able to get his attention. You ain't gonna be able to attract no nigga with money. You know, so it's telling both of y'all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that old self has to die. You know, even Blackbeard. You know what I'm saying? Like Blackbeard's his own inner shadow has challenged him by getting in the voice of an insecure person. Sometimes your shadow will do that. It'll morph and change voices. It don't always sound like a hero. Sometimes it'll even sound like, you know, maybe it don't believe that you're going to be able to do it. Just to challenge you to see if you'll be able to do it. You know, so that brother really hit on that stuff on G Love, and y'all check him out. You know, show him some support and view his stuff and subscribe him as well. You know, and then all the other brothers on my subscriber list, salute and shout them out. And y'all check them out. So, you know, that's what we're dealing with, man, over here in the Midnight Mirage. You know, I want to give a real quick salute to some of the ladies out there. You know what I'm saying? I saw there's been some more women, you know, shouting me out, and some more women, you know, making noise. So we will give a real big round of applause to them. You know, like I said, you know, ain't no homosexuality going on over here. Blackbeard and the Midnight Mirage here, we dealing with all the ladies. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit goes. Like, you can't really do no real alchemy anyway if you ain't having, you know, no women around. You know what I'm saying? That's how that goes. That's why all these, you know, Catholics and these different Christian monks, you know, that's why their mystery systems kind of stopped at a certain point, because they didn't have no women around and they weren't engaging in no type of sexual alchemy with the women. You know, so that's where they failed. But see, in the Islamic sciences, that's very, very understood. That's why, you know, they have certain ancient Moorish Sufi cults. You had certain ancient Moorish Sufi cults where you get this whole concept of basically killing for Allah, or basically dying for the higher self, going through a ritual for the higher self. And then one of the rewards is you will be blessed with these virgins and concubines when you get to the realm of bliss. So that's one of the, you know, things going on in the Midnight Mirage. You know, we're going to have the concubines, the wives, the whatever, you know what I'm saying? They going to, you know, y'all here. Fuck that. But, you know, as we always say, this is an alpha male dominated sphere. So we don't mind those sisters being on the page, commenting, you know, and being included and joining themselves with us, because we need y'all here. But you got to remember that this is an alpha male led space. And, you know, and we going to check y'all if y'all talk crazy, you know. So this still is, it is a man's space. You know, it's not saying that women aren't included and the ladies aren't allowed. But, you know, you got to know your place. You can't be in a man's space trying to compete and act like men, because then you're going to start basically drawing our attention to you in that way. And Mr. Controversy, he made a good point on one of his tapes. He was saying how Cynthia G, you know, she put her back against the wall when she, you know, was making a platform about calling out, let's say, certain discrimination. And, you know, and a lot of stuff she said, she's actually right. Even when she talk about a lot of these black male simps, you know, like most of what she be saying, it be true. Now, can she exaggerate and extrapolate sometimes? Yes, of course she can. You know, all of us may have the tendency to do that every now and then. With her, it's a little more, you know, more often than some. But either way it goes, with the black up males and the Negro nut huggers that she calls out, she's right about that. But what she failed to mess up is she had that hypocrisy about the black men and the Caucasian women, and she just couldn't get that out of her mind. So, her hatred for that kind of is what fueled what she wanted to talk about a lot. And even if she wanted to talk about that, let's say, she should have chose a different angle to come at. Maybe she should have went more into the Moorish history and dealt with the Moorish harems, and maybe talked about how it, kind of crippled them in certain ways. So maybe she could have talked about the pros and cons, basically dealing with the history, so it won't just sound like a bunch of yelling and sound like you just mad and jealous. And you can still inform the people on something that you're passionate about. No different with me, like the whole ghetto gaggery and the Negro bed stenching, that's what I do with that. I'm going to try to teach you all from more of a historical point of view versus just getting on the tape and making it seem like I'm mad about black females being with white males. That's not really what the issue is. The more of the issue is just the historical contexts. So I think Cynthia G should have took that approach if she wanted to make tape after tape after tape after tape after tape about the black males and the white females. Because what she ended up doing is making herself look very, very hypocritical. And then when she started getting attacked by these, racist white, males and females, now she has no real defense system. The only thing she gonna have is a bunch of black up males, a bunch of Negro nut huggers, and they're not gonna really defend her because they're used to females leading. They're used to females being independent and females taking the charge. So just because somebody comes to attack them, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden they're not thinking females are gonna be leaders in that regard too. That's what it is. No, they expect you to be leaders in that regard too. That's what the black up male and the Negro nut hugger expects of the strong black woman who is his matriarchal leader. And that's what Cynthia G failed to realize. So a lot of these females, that's these pro-black females on these, tapes, they got to watch that because I'm noticing a lot of the men that's in a comment section and a lot of the men that's fucking with them, they're either there because they think they're attractive or that's really the only reason. Like, they really just think they're attractive. And I think the guys may think that they have some type of digital, I don't know, snowball chance in hell would get it with one of them. I don't know, but in other words, like, the men that are there, they're not really the alpha leaders who will really protect you in the time of adversity and the kind of guys y'all really need around. That's not who y'all gonna have in there. So, Cynthia G kind of got herself in that, and it was just pretty good how Mr. Controversy broke that down. So once again, y'all check out that tape. Also the tape when he was talking about her, the black up males not being her standard of beauty. That is, the black female. So y'all check that out, man. Like I said, he kind of been going in lately. You know what I'm saying? He always go in, but his last few, he really been going in. So, y'all holler at him on that. What else I want to talk to y'all about? We can go into staying down to come up. Something very, very important. You gotta stay down to come up. That's another form of the death or the Diothian ritual or the abyss ritual. Just going through a hard situation or a challenging situation, a grimy situation, and then rising your way out of the mud. That's why you hear a lot of brothers in the street and real street niggas, they say things like, well, should I just get it out the mud, or I've been in the mud. What that's really saying is that I've been in the primordial murk or the primordial swamps. Or I've been in the primordial matter, and I've been in the primordial melanin, and I've been trying to create something. I've been trying to make something out of nothing. I've been working with the ashlar stone and trying to create a perfect chisel and a perfect 90-degree angle out of it. You know what I'm saying? And I've been working. So that's what it is. We got to really just get the shit out the mud. And, that's another esoteric statement. A lot of black men be saying esoteric statements and they don't really be knowing it. But that's what get it out the mud really means. You got to wrestle with, the angel, the higher self, the holy guardian angel. You got to get it out the mud, go through that primordial darkness. And that's what happened. So some of us may have some little economic situations going on now. Got some bills and stuff that we got to pay that we may not know how we going to pay. We'll get through it. You know what I'm saying? Just stay down and get through it. Stay focused. And just try not to let the things psychologically and emotionally torment you and steer you off of, your true self, basically having you in a bad mood, and not thinking and feeling like your original self. I think a lot of the times that be the stuff that kind of prevent things from happening. Not necessarily the challenge itself, but maybe how we respond psychologically and emotionally. And I've even seen that with myself. That's why I try not to do that. It's easier said than done, but that's what that is. So, just stay down, man, and you're going to make it through whatever it is. You'll get the money you need, pay that stuff off, and then you'll keep on growing and getting bigger money from that. A lot of us going to be receiving some good, fruits from our labor coming in the spring and the summertime. A lot of you all out there listening to this right now, just keep that in mind. Just go ahead and keep battling through Aquarius and Pisces. You know what I'm saying? Because by the time Aries come around, y'all going to start really eating. You got to remember, it's your soul and your star, your own inner star is going through a process. It goes through an annual process. It happens every year. You know what I'm saying? You're going to always have some type of tough stuff going on from about October to about March. You know what I'm saying? Every year in your life, I always expect from October to March, you're going to have something going on that's going to challenge you. Because that's going to correspond to the winter solstice and the Capricorn ritual. So, this stay out of come up thing is very, very important. And Blackbeard takes it serious. It's just a code. It's a code that I personally live by. I take that medicine every day. That's another thing too. Like, I'm not hypocritical in my personal life. The stuff and the shit I'm on here talking about and telling you all about, this is shit that I'm doing myself. You know what I'm saying? So, it don't go like that. It ain't like I can tell y'all some shit and then run away and not do it. That ain't what's going down. You know what I'm saying? So, I just want to drop that, man. Just tell the people, just proud that y'all getting something from it. And y'all making yourselves vocal. I even saw another brother who was telling me about a new book he's reading by Shahrazad Ali. Also, salute to her. Shahrazad Ali was one of the prophets of the 80s and 90s. She was telling us about this black female's dysfunction. And she was telling us about the upcoming Negro bed stench or swirling movement that was going to be ever apparent in the 2010s. And she told us about this in the 80s and 90s, and the brother, I think he said he was checking her stuff out. So, once again, salute to Shahrazad Ali, and also salute to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing was teaching us about the Yakub experiment and where the real subatomic subconscious hatred was coming from. So her work was very, very critical, and she passed in the last few years. So salute to her, you know what I'm saying, and Shahrazad Ali as well. But yeah, but the brother was telling me about that, and, and I could see the transcendence in his understanding. That's another thing with a lot of you all's comments, the people who decide to comment, you'd be surprised, but I'm seeing the growth in you all because, I'm seeing when you was commenting one way, let's say months ago, and on the tape, that I made months ago, when your comment was, I could see that you was at a certain level of understanding, you was challenging and wrestling with some things, and then your next comment after that, I can kind of see that you evolved a little bit in understanding. Then the next comment after that, you done evolved even more, and then you just keep evolving. So, I do see the progression in y'all, believe it or not. Even in the people who do not comment, I see the progression in you all too, because I can feel the frequency when you all are watching me. Then you got to remember too, I have a very, very deep voice. So you're feeling the literal vibration. It's probably even making some of you ladies wet over there hearing my deep voice. But, so we are connected, believe it or not, through this. And I can just see it kind of showing up with you all. So a lot of y'all been putting in some real work. I see that. Also, another thing too, then we're going to wrap it up. When I give out the resources in the books and the different sites that I'm giving out in the tape, I'm expecting you all to either write it down at that moment or to pause and rewind it and fully write out what I said. That's what I'm expecting you all to do, because, I'm not going to ever create a list of books And I'm not going to ever directly give it to you all like that. And the main reason why I'm not going to do that is because that is actually robbing you all of part of the spiritual journey. You know what I'm saying? It's of part of your own inner ritual of becoming the high priest or the high priestess. You know, when you find new material and new books on your own just by stumbling across them, you know, just by Googling and stuff like that, when you just internet searching and web browsing, and then you come across something that's very, very impactful, and then it affects you in a certain way, and then you start, you know, using it in your personal life and then sharing it with other people. You know, I don't want to really rob you all of that experience, because that's you know, a great big reason of why I'm the way I am. You know, nobody really told me about a lot of this stuff. As far as like what books I need to go get and do, like nobody guided me like that. You know, I was listening to tapes by, let's say, Bobby Hemmett or Aline Bay, you know what I'm saying, or I Seer, you know, or Phil Valentine or somebody like that. And then as they were giving the sources in their tapes, you know, I paused it and I would rewind and I would write down what they said. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's what I would do. Like, I never would email these guys or personally try to contact these guys to like ask them something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that Blackbeard is going to do. Like I said, Blackbeard is going to get it out the mud. He's an occultist. You know, he's a Masonic adept. He's going to create his own, like the god Kepher. You know what I'm saying? The guy who created himself. You know what I'm saying? The guy that you see where it's the scarab beetle. You see him with the scarab beetle and he's holding it above his head. You know, that's what you got to do. You got to create yourself. You know, so Blackbeard can't give it to you like that. Because another thing I believe in too is the golden rule of treating people the way you were treated. See, that's another thing. See, it was a lot of shit that nobody did for me. You know, it was a lot of stuff that I was kind of like, you know, maybe like somebody maybe told me about it a little bit, but they didn't give me what I really needed. They didn't guide me. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of shit I did on my own. Like, you know, and that's how I expect things to be. You know, and I expect people to be able to deal with the same pressure. I expect people to be able to, you know, rise to the occasion like I did, you know. Is everybody cut from the same cloth? You know, of course not. But I guess that's just a code that I live by. You know, I just treat people the way I was treated. I think if in life people probably gave me a lot and I got a lot of, let's say, handouts and, you know, what people call so-called blessings and random stuff like that, I probably would be a little more open to be like that, because it would only be right. You know, that's how I was taught. You know, that's what was done to me. And that's probably all I would know. But I experienced actually the complete opposite. And, you know, it has made me the man that I am today. You know, I've always been just self-sufficient and trying to figure out how to get it on my own. So that's what I expect, you know. And I know that everybody's not going to be able to do that. But in order to be a champion, that's just what it takes, you know. So that's how that goes, you know. It's almost like this. It's like if you work, I remember like a lot of times, there's also another thing too, you have to do a lot of sacrificing. Like with me personally, I've been sacrificing a lot physically lately. You know what I'm saying? I've been sacrificing a lot physically lately. But anyway, pretty soon I'm going to be getting back on my workouts and, you know, my proper eating and stuff like that. And it would be like, you know, when a lot of guys would come work out with me and stuff, and, you know, it ain't like I'm just some Hercules or something, but, you know, when we would be bench pressing or something like that, and I may put on the 225, you know, and, you know, because that's typically what I use. And then the person may not be able to do the 225, so they got to pull it off, you know what I'm saying, in order to do their workout. But then when I get ready to go back, I got to keep putting it back on. So a lot of the times, you know, when you go and try to work out with a person that's on a particular level, it's like either you're going to rise to that level or you may have to like work out on your own, you know, and that's how that goes. You know what I'm saying? The higher school of spirituality, like if you're going to associate and be around a certain particular person that's at a certain level, you're going to have to rise to that same level. Other than that, you ain't gonna really be able to be around them, you know. That's why quite often in my physical personal life, I'm by myself. Strictly for that reason. Why? Because, not to sound arrogant, but a lot of people just ain't on my level. They not. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that, because they supposed to be on their level. You know, they ain't supposed to be on Blackbeard level. But nevertheless, you know, That ain't the case. And it's the same with you. It's like a lot of people ain't on your level. They ain't cut from the cloth you from. They can't deal with the things you dealt with. They can't, deal with certain challenges the way you did. So you should just treat people how you was treated. If folks looked out for you in life, if you had blessings, if you grew up with a silver spoon, if you was slit spoiled, if your parents gave you everything you wanted, if you had a aunt or an uncle or a grandma, somebody that was always sending you money or you could call, if you had a dad or mom or something that was able to buy you a car and basically always look out for you when you needed something. If you was in college and every time you was broke and needed this and needed that, and you had somebody to always call, if you that type of person and you listening to my tape, then you don't really have the right to be selfish, because that's not how the world treated you. The world looked out for you, so you need to look out for the world. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how that goes, But if you the person that, nobody really goddamn was there for you like that, and you kind of had to figure it out on your own and stuff like that. I'm not necessarily saying you got to be selfish, because don't nobody need to be selfish, no matter what their situation is. But you don't have to be this, hero and try to lend your arm out and help everybody. Because at the end of the day, that's not the realm you even know. That's not even natural for you. You would actually be going against your own nature by doing that. And by acting that way, you won't get no form of success. You know what I'm saying? So if the world was real cordial with you, a lot of times when you needed some little money and stuff and nobody was there for you, you was at the gas station, you just needed an extra 30 cents, but nobody wanted to give it to you and stuff like that, and it's cool. Because once again, don't nobody owe nobody nothing. I ain't saying that. Don't nobody owe nobody nothing. But what all I am saying is that because the world was that way to you, you can be that way to the world, and there's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to feel guilty about it. You don't have to give the homeless man or woman some money when they ask you for it. You don't have to goddamn give the person at the gas station 10 years later. Well, now when they asking you for the quarter, you don't have to give them the quarter. Or at least that's the philosophy that Blackbeard lives by. That's the golden rule to me. Like I'm literally going to treat the world exactly how I was treated. I'm not going to go no more, and I'm not going to go no less. And I advise you all to do the same. And if you start seeing people around you getting afraid, then that means they know that they treated you very, very wrong. And they know that the world and a lot of shit treated you very, very wrong. You see? So people claim that they want to live by the golden rule, but in reality, they really don't. Because if we really treated people the way we're treated, even with myself, like if I treated folks the way that I was really treated, man, I don't even want to even get into that. But like I was saying, this tape, man, was just to say very, very, I'm thankful. I want to salute the people. I'm fucking with y'all. I got love for all the people in the Mirage universe. You know what I'm saying? We in this shit. All that. For all the brothers out there, I love y'all boys. Y'all stay down and come up. Y'all try to get some form of education. Y'all try to get into some type of entrepreneurship and being an entrepreneur, because this whole system of, working for somebody and all that is going out the door. Ain't nothing wrong with having a little job. Just stay in your job right now. Don't trick yourself off in the streets. Don't go do nothing crazy. Don't go talking crazy to them managers and shit. Just fuck them people. Just get your little bread, clock in, clock right on out. Boom, you out of there. Mind your own business. Use condoms out here with these women. If you're a man, if you've already created children, you need to keep it 100 with your children and keep it 100 with the woman you had your children with. I'm sorry. You already done created it, buddy. Don't be trying to run out on a situation now, but you didn't run out when you was goddamn, you didn't run out of cum when you was fucking her raw. But now you want to run out on a situation when she get pregnant and the kid come out and now they need all this other stuff. Can't do that, man. You can't do the same thing as a brother that don't got no kid. He's still in the player mode. He's still on his bachelor shit. You know what I'm saying? He don't got to be loyal and responsible to nothing. He ain't tied down like that, buddy. So stop trying to be like the niggas that, haven't gotten into that situation yet. You passed that, bro. You know, you got to be responsible now. It's some whole other shit you need to be worried about. You should have been thinking about that before you started making them decisions earlier in your life. So if you one of these men that got a kid out here, you need to do the right thing, man. You know, you really, really do. And if you're a brother that don't have any children, then what you need to do is you need to be staying focused. You need to be trying to build yourself up and then teaming with other brothers that are like you in your surrounding environment. And you need to choose the right type of women. You know, choose the right type of women. I'm going to go ahead and be 100 with you. The women that are going to be the easiest for you to get, just to be real with you, they're going to be the few submissive black women that are going to be around that are a little decent. They're going to be the easiest ones for you to get. So I say go ahead and jump on it. You know, I'm not one of these guys out here that's not really about fucking with a black woman. Like, oh no, I'm fucking with her. I'm fucking with her the long way. You know, I'm not fucking with them messed up ones. You know what I'm saying? We know about that, but nah, the black women that's on point, them the ones I'm really checking for. So, you know, I advise you niggas, you know, y'all can do that too. Because just to be real with you all, if a lot of you all don't live in areas where there aren't, let's say, a lot of foreign women like you may want, you know, then just still deal with what's around you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, if you meet your foreign woman one day, cool. You know, ain't nothing wrong with that either. But, you know, I wouldn't just reject the black women like that. You know, because they on point to me. They remind me of the rough ashlar. They remind me of the rough ashlar. You know, so. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up. You know, just want to give a major salute. You know, y'all turning up, y'all going in. You know, it's the boy Blackbeard Mirage, the American himself. And he will continue. He will continue. But y'all stay tuned. I'm out.